have the hiccups, I apologize. But on Facebook, I just asked anyone if they had any vlog requests. Because I have a charged camcorder, I have my makeup done. William is awake, but he's playing very nicely, and Hannah's still sleeping. So I have a couple minutes that I can film a vlog if I want to. I'm trying to look at the time it is. So I gotta put that cornbread in the oven. Anyway, someone asked if I had ever talked about how Chris and I met, and I haven't. So Chris and I were college sweethearts. I actually met him the beginning of the summer after my freshman year, so summer '02, which actually goes down as, not just because I met Chris, but the best summer of my college experience by far. So I got a job as on campus during, like, through a work-study program, working with a professor in my field. So I talked to my parents and asked if I could stay, you know, in Massachusetts for the summer. I grew up in Oregon and went to college in Massachusetts, and they said sure, because they knew it was a really good opportunity for me. I was living in the sorority house. This is all very cliche, just so you know, straight up cliche. I was living in the sorority house. I had just moved in, and there was actually a lot of people on campus that summer. So there was a lot of parties, a lot of people hanging out. It was just very, very active, but we didn't have any homework, so it was amazing. So I have to say, I knew of Chris before I ever met him, and it's very, very weird because, like, back then a lot of people wrote blogs, and so I had a blog, and on my blog roll was all of my, like, girlfriends, and so when I would it's going crazy over here, when I would read their I would go to their blogs and read their stuff. Then I would look at their blog rolls, and through, like, 6 degrees of separation, this is William now. Through 6 degrees of separation, I came across Christopher's blog, and I added it to mine, and I read his all the time, and he was extremely funny. Very, very funny. But I still had not met him. One of the girlfriends that I hung out with, her and I were thick as thieves that summer. She was really good friends with him, but I hadn't met him. And then another girl that I hung out with all the time, she had gone to his fraternity for her birthday, and I think maybe it was Christopher's birthday too, or some situation. Chris and another fraternity brother got into, like, a wrestling match, and I think Chris, like, ended up headbutting a banister. He was a fraternity guy, what do you expect? And he had, like, a gash on his forehead, and she, like, helped stitch him up. So I, like, knew all of this information about him, like, peripherally, but I had never met him, and he had never met me. What's even stranger is that his fraternity was the fraternity that I went to. Hands down, if they were having a party, I was there that weekend, because I was friends with a completely different group of guys, of his brothers. And so, like, we all hung out. One of my girlfriends started dating one of his fraternity brothers, and so I was there all the time, and I just hung out with these guys. I was friends with them, but they were in, like, a different social circle than Chris was. So it all came to a head. I think it was so loud. June 26th, 2002, I think. What happened was my sorority and another sorority on campus were doing a fundraiser, and the fundraiser was to go to the, I want to call it, like, in Portland, it's the Portland Rose Garden, but it's the, you know, the big, you know, hockey, football, concert event arena, and work a concession stand, and then we get a proportion. I can't even with this kid. Hold on. Get over here. Come here and see me. You're being so loud. Yes, you are. Oh, and Hannah just woke up. Anyways, we were invited to work at this concession stand, and we would earn a portion of the proceeds to go towards our overall sorority budget, which was excellent. And the reason why I signed up to do it is because it was a Britney Spears concert, and I was a huge Britney Spears fan. Huge. huge. So it was really, really cool because you got to work the concession stand for the first half of the concert, and then we kind of shut everything down, and then we were able to go and watch the second half of the concert. All right, so Hannah just woke up, so I'm making her go to the bathroom, and then she's probably going to be out here and wanting to be on the camera. So anyways, let me finish this up. So the first half of the concert, we had to work the concession stand. I sold so many soft pretzels, it was crazy. And then we kind of closed things up, we counted all the money, and then we were able to watch basically the last half of the concert. And it was awesome. This was 2002, so this was before she went crazy. I think this was the Dream a Little Dream concert tour. It was awesome. It was awesome. So we all, me and two of my sorority sisters were totally pumped up at the end of this concert. We were so excited. We were going to spend the rest of the summer like running and working out so that we could get as pumped as she could. And then we were going to take a dancing class so that we could dance as good as she could. We were inspired by Britney Spears. And one of my sisters, she was like, hey, let's go over to the fraternity house because they're having a party and they're hanging out. Let's go see them. And I was like, sure, because we were so excited. So we went to the fraternity house and we knocked on the door, and Chris answered the door. And the other two girls started launching in on like how much fun it was, and mind you, they were really good friends with Chris, but I just hadn't met him yet. And I was just completely, I don't know, looking back on it, I have no idea what it was. Because he's probably in a Hawaiian print shirt with a baseball cap with a pin in the bill so he could write down notes and stuff, and just looking super cute and super chubby, and I don't know, there was just something about, he had very kind eyes and he was very sweet, and I was just immediately smitten with him. Just immediately smitten. But I was just being stupid and I couldn't get any words out, and I was just like, I need to go home. And they looked at me like I was the stupidest person ever, and I was like, I gotta go home. So instead of like hanging out and flirting with them, I just went home. And like totally kicked myself the whole way. Because as I was walking back home, all the puzzle pieces were like falling into like, I know this guy. Like, I don't even know how to start talking to him because I'm going to come across like a stalker because I know all this stuff about him and he probably has no idea who I am. And so I went back, I don't know, probably like a week later, and we just started hanging out, and like we would go watch movies. We would watch movies, he would make me dinner, and we just took it really slow. And then even though he was a math and physics major, he signed up to take my, what class was it? Thermodynamics, I think. I think he took thermodynamics with me, and he sat in the row in front of me. So we did our homework together, we studied for tests together, and even though he was math and physics, I was chemical engineering and actually really needed this class. He did better in the class than I did. No history of like any engineering classes. It was just kind of all math and equations, and so he ended up kicking my butt in the class.
What does kicking butt mean?
Kicking butt? He scored a lot better than I did on the test.
Yeah,
your daddy is very, very smart.
Yeah, kick butt.
Kick butt. So anyways, we started dating in August of 2002, like officially boyfriend and girlfriend. So for our 5-year anniversary, he took me on a surprise trip to Napa. We rented this like really sexy red Mustang. We were driving all around doing wine tastings. We stayed at bed and breakfast. And one of our last mornings there, he surprised me with a hot air balloon ride. And he proposed. So it was super, super romantic, really, really amazing. And 1 year later, on our 6th-year anniversary, we got married. In a vineyard. And we've been together ever since. So anyways, now it is January 2014. We have been together, let's see, 11 and a half years. We've been married for 5.5 years. We have 2 kids, 2 dogs, a beautiful house, and a minivan. So really just living the dream. William, you were so screechy. Come here. Come here. My little shirtless baby. Whoa. Whoa. So anyways, that is how Chris and I met. It all it all started with a Britney Spears concert. So thanks for asking. That was a really good question. I can't believe I've never filmed the story before, but that is how we met. We were college sweethearts, and I love him so much. He is my best friend. So I will talk to you guys later. You say bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.